it's really more about you guys today because you've heard my thoughts and my reviews, and I'd just like to hear a lot about what you guys thought of this season. Because even like I'll scour the Reddit a lot of Handmaid's Tale and see what everyone's thinking. And there's so much debate right now going on about really the biggest thing people debate is how, like, if you're supporting the Serena redemption arc or if you're not, if Serena's a victim, if she's not, if she's sort of a victim, if she's not. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on, and it gets dicey because it's a lot of political debate too, so it can get intense on that Reddit. But it's also good to look at it as a show angle too, and how the direction show's going. And we got all this news coming out. There's a lot of stuff surrounding this season, and what was really interesting just from the start was that they announced there's the final season to be season 6, and then hold on, let me put the live chat. I don't like this top chat thing. Hello everybody. Hello. Oh, there's my girl Rachel. Rachel is the best. She is here. Um, and then we got Isabella, a longtime fan. Hello, Isabella. You're the best. Taylor Shutt, Jessica M, Mandy Joe. Hello, everybody. Just Michaela. I see you. Hey, it's Pairweight. Oh my gosh, you still got to watch the finale, Pairweight. She's great channel. Who also does The Handmaid's Tale. How you doing, Pairweight? So yeah, I'm getting distracted by this now already. That's why this is so tough. But no, I love what you guys are writing. Hello, Promethean Flame. Nay Faust, Lauren Gilbertson. Hello. Yeah, no, I'm really excited to talk about this season. And yeah, so it was interesting. I was saying that how they announced season 6 is the final season, and then the Testaments is officially confirmed. So you kind of can see how with this season, things kind of flipped where you see there's a lot of new writers on the team compared to past seasons, and all speculation, but it's interesting because there's also a job security thing that happens when a spinoff is coming in and a show is ending, that a lot of times writers of the main show will jump to the spinoff because of job security. Because if you get onto that new show, you're set now. You're set for the Testaments and what's going to come out. And you want to still have to think of it as a business, whatever position you are too. So that's why things like that, I think, can definitely happen. I don't know if it happened in this case, but I'm going to guess that's what happened. Now there's all this mystery about, how Alexis Bledel left the show and no more Emily, right? And it's interesting. I think Bruce Miller did an interview or two recently where he said that the reason there was less Moira and Rita was because they had a whole storyline for Emily, Moira, and Rita. And then when they found out Alexis was leaving, that was like threw that all in a loop. So there had to be some kind of scramble here, and that can kind of be a result where I was complaining a lot how like there was so little Moira and Rita. This is a result of, someone leaves the team being Alexis Bledel, and then you got to kind of hustle and pick up the pieces, and it hurts. There's only so much you can do, and it's no one to blame, but that's what happens. Like, things happen and people leave on something that's planned to happen a certain way. And it's tough to get out of that. It's why it's so awkward, even when they were writing Emily and that she was going back to find Lydia and that her wife was okay with it. Like, the whole thing was weird, but this is like they had to quickly fix things and kind of fix the fire, put the fire out. So that's kind of already put this season on a weird note, things outside of the show. So that's tough to kind of overcome. So let's see what you guys are writing here. Okay, let's see what Promethean Flame. I'm going to point this one out. I understand that the actors have jobs and contracts, so they can't get rid of people, even though their narrative don't necessarily have to go this route. True. See, high balance, circle, swirl. Oh, that makes sense that Emily was a part of Moira and Rita's story for sure. So there was definitely something there. I'm curious what that story was. Yeah. See, Pairweight, you got a lot of love here. See, me and Pairweight have a lot of similar audience, which is kind of cool. And I'll see Pairweight a lot of press days. I do, and she's very nice in Zoom as well. I don't say in person. I haven't met her in person, but in Zoom as well. So it's cool that she supports this channel as well. So yeah, it was tough too. So just on from my perspective of things as well, for me with this show when this season started, was that, like, you look at season 4, right? There was a huge press day. Everybody was doing interviews. They really cut down on the interviews this season with cast. And then you don't see as much promotion leading into the new season. And then it wasn't like they sent out a bunch of stuff to people who cover the show and hyping it up. It was very muted this season. So that doesn't show confidence to me in the product for this season. In previous seasons where they were all in on promoting season 4 and showing a lot of support from the team on the show itself. So that's very interesting. I hope though that I would actually prefer they take their time with season 6, because as much as they're focusing in on the Testaments, season 6 is the final season of a very iconic show. So it needs to be great. It needs to have that time taken and respect to it that we can, I'm very excited for the Testaments, but we need to really make sure there's payoff here and that it's not too much set for the Testaments, because a lot of people always justify shows or seasons or episodes like, oh, but this is just set up for the Testaments. Okay, that's great, but it needs to be good on its own right. We put all this time and seasons into watching this, so support into this show that we love and are attached to. They have to really, I would even almost prefer they just so lean in on June's story and the surrounding characters that need to kind of fix up here with Rita and Moira in season 6 and all this stuff setting up the Testaments. I'd even prefer they went the MCU route and put it in the post credits. Let it be something that's kind of underlying, but not the main focus. So we'll see what they do with that. Probably not going to do that, but I think that'd be kind of actually a cool thing. Yeah, see, KPDA says it was so quiet, the press. They said the finale was their biggest budget, though. Right. But I don't know what that changes on the support and belief of the show for this season once they finished it. Why only 9 episodes? There's actually 10 episodes, and I think 10 episodes is usually typical. I think there was, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't there 12 episode seasons, one or two of them? Yeah, what happened to Moira's love interest? That was strange. So that was weird, is that there was a lot of stuff this season that was introduced and dropped, things that flipped so quick. So if you saw my reviews, things I was frustrated with was the season started really pinning this June versus Serena. Then it was now June and Serena are getting along. And then it was things just keep flipping back and forth where, Lawrence is helping June. Now Lawrence isn't helping June. It's so fast. Everything just happens so fast this season. And there was a good point too, where, I think a big problem with the show I've said, and a lot of people agree with, there's one thing I think a lot of people agree with, I don't know how you can defend against this, is that the world building is very poor on the show. And there was a good point someone made on Reddit where it was you know, is Boston the only city that's not Gilead in the show in America? Is the best one was is Tuello the only American in the show we know who works in that company? Can we meet somebody else? Can we see something else? And same thing too with the Gilead power structures. Lawrence is so powerful now, but I still feel like they just dropped a lot of the DC stuff that was built up, and who is really in command here? There's just it feels so put into one spot where there should be something that's explaining this new world that this takes place in the show. It never really expanded on that. You just feel it makes it less believable, in my opinion. Hello, Gemini boy. Good morning, brother. Found your channel yesterday and love your content. Thank you so much. Let's see. Gigi Guevara. I guess there's another conversation going on. Andrew, Netflix cancels good shows. That is true. And that has to do a lot with how much they're willing to pay for a show. And they're very judgmental on data. But Handmaid's Tale Testaments isn't going anywhere. This is Hulu's baby. You know what I mean? And it's surprising that Hulu doesn't have more better content. It has some good shows, but it still really hasn't had many hits. Where still even I always say Netflix is going to go the other way, and then it surprises me and comes out with more hits. Netflix has a lot of hits. Still the best quality, those HBO. Let's see. Okay, I saw this complaint. The lighting is too dark and the volume is way too low on the show. It's so tough. I think a lot of critics will understand this with I've seen that in a lot of shows, especially people complain that with House of Dragon and of course the season finale. I mean the final season of Game of Thrones with the lighting issues, how dark it is. And I get that. It's so hard for me to judge though, because we watch these screeners and I swear they're brighter and they're on our laptops. So it's even the brightest screen I can watch it on. So I see everything clearly, but I got to rewatch it on TV and kind of see that, because I want to make sure I'm seeing the same experience you guys are. So I could see that point. It is a lot of darkness and over dark for people to see for sure. Her real review. Hey, Steve, I agree with the world building. We got some good stuff on seasons 2 and 3 for sure. Yeah, people keep bringing up Moira's love interest too. I don't know where that went. I don't know where she went. Um, I also like stand by that. Like, it's you're watching this show cut between different locations and storylines, but you can actually see within a show another show, which is this Lydia, Esther, and Janine show. And I think that's just as good as any Handmaid's Tale I've watched. I enjoy it. I think it's great. I love being in that universe. And I think this season suffers from walls that were set up earlier, like traps they fell in. And that comes to it just literally, if you look back at the show's arc, June getting out of Gilead and landing in Canada. And it's like, people make a great point. Like, any show where you're trying to escape, you look at shows' histories, other shows like Lost, right? Like, they get off the island, then they got to go back because they realize it's a trap writing wise. You get stuck when you escape. You've solved the problem too early. And uh, I think that's a big thing, and that it's season 5 suffering the most from some decisions made in earlier seasons, and having June get to Canada, it's like, I think what I really came to conclusion was about this season was like, I was just so tired of being in that house in Canada, like seeing their close up with June, close up with Luke, close up with June, and them just reflecting. Everyone's reflecting on things happening, but things aren't happening. It's better when things are visually being told and happening, and you see that when they're in Gilead. The whole story is us reacting to things that are happening visually, and then we're the ones reacting, not hearing people have a conversation about what's happening. That's a lot of what the show became, especially in those scenes in Canada. And I think that um I like that. What I don't like, and this actually is so out of left field, but if anyone watches Warrior Nun, I just did an interview for it, but it's a similar thing where season 1, the main actress is the narration. And we know with Handmaid's Tale, that's how the book is. And then season 1 was like that. And please, someone refresh me what season they stopped doing that. But I actually thought to myself, like, I miss that. I miss the narration of June. You get a little tidbit here and there in the show still, but I actually think the magic of Handmaid's Tale, the beauty of it was being in this character's head. So I really like in this kind of story that narration. So I actually still miss the narration of June. That's just a random thought I had to bring up. Um, Okay, let me read more comments because I want to get you guys and your thoughts here. So, uh, okay, KPDA says, I'm so curious about Luke's arc in the final season. I am not, but we'll see. I don't think he'll have as much screen time. And look, he got the, OT. God bless him. He got the screen time this season. So I think they're going to probably try to spread that out a little more to other people next season. This was the Luke show. And they definitely made his character much better, but I still think the show is always going to suffer with the character of Luke being at the forefront. Okay, Rachel says it went nowhere. They stopped developing her character. It went nowhere. Whose character? I'm missing some of this convo, so I'm sorry. Rachel says, I hate Luke. Mentioning him may trigger Steve. That's hysterical. I don't hate him anymore. Steve, where's your outfit? You should have been somebody today. I'm trying, people. I'm trying. It's tough. There's not as many characters to dress up as in the show right now. Like it's the season that had it all really was season 3 had so many costumes you could do, but it's tough. I'm trying to do a new costume each time. So it's kind of hard to kind of pick out what to do. And, people who are on YouTube copying me, you know who you are. Thank you. I'll take it as flattery. We got a couple reviewers this season dressing up doing Handmaid's Tale reviews, so very, very cool. Commander Steve. I still haven't done that one. It's really interesting. I was trying to do for the finale review, I wanted to do Naomi wedding outfit, but it's really tough with the wives. They're like, basically, I get all my costumes through Amazon, and something about the wives' costumes are so hard to find that specific color in that specific cut, that style. And I was so close. I had like half of the outfit there for Naomi wedding style, just didn't come about. Tough. Yeah, so any guys have, speaking of costumes, I did Janine a couple times in past seasons. Um I have done Aunt Lydia. I want to know what you guys have liked out of all my costumes, what your favorites were through the whole time, not just this season. That'd be great to hear that feedback. Um but I think my favorite still doing this season was Serena in funeral form. Um, oh, and yes, thank you. The plum. I think the best reaction I got was the plum girl. I did 2 plum outfits and people went crazy for it. Um, so yeah, so this season it's weird. I looked back at like my ratings and I talked about it, but my favorite episode was episode 9, which was directed by Bradley Whitford. I thought it had the best pacing to it. It was the most interesting and it was more gripping and engaging. Um, which is interesting because I saw there was a poll on the Reddit of like everyone's favorite episode this season. Everyone really loves that middle patch with June and Serena in the barn, and I hated it, but people love it, and it's still people's favorite. So props to people for that. But I think it's also a problem where like I fall towards the line of this big debate going on of like, does Serena can we do a redemption arc with Serena? I think we can, but I don't like how quick it's coming, and I don't like how much they're painting her as like, oh, okay, because they're 2 moms, she gets a free pass. Like, come on, like that's not fair. Like that stuff like that I'm like, okay, like this woman has done so much horrible things, and orchestrated so much that like more than Lydia. So that's why I can get behind Lydia a little more. But Serena, because Serena's also had so many second chances and then still does a selfish move, hurting other people that are more oppressed than her, by the way. Because I get that. I get that. I saw posters like all women in Gilead are oppressed, so therefore they're all victims. True. But there's still choices in those people, and there's people always more impressed than you. So Serena's that case to me where it's like, she's had so many chances to do the right thing and has hurt way more people. So it's really hard for me to have sympathy for her just because she is a mom. Come on now. So that's what I'm going to say. Right now, I want you guys to tell me in the comments what you think, your thoughts on the Serena arc. Are you someone who's like, yes, I wanted her and June to team up and take down Gilead? Or are you someone who's like, no, I can't get behind this? Or are you somewhere in the middle? I want to hear you guys' thoughts on Serena right now. And I'll read them. So let's see. Da, 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 da. Why is my comment in slow mode, Amy? Everyone's in slow mode for 30 seconds because when I did this last year and didn't have slow mode on, you couldn't read anything. It was too much. Thank you, Thomas, for the $5. That's amazing. Thank you. Okay, so Peach says, I just like the whole June Serena bond. Like enough already. June, she raped you. True. Serena's a horrible person, Mia says. Christine C says team up but still hate each other. I like that. Somewhere in the middle. Nina, I'm shipping Serena in June. There's something there. Rachel, bored to death with Serena's storyline. It would have worked after season 2. I'm with you on that. I'm conflicted, but I want them to take on Gilead, says Anna M. I'm drinking green tea while I read this because my throat is going out. They have a bond, says Adam. They do. Gigi says Serena and Lydia are the same. They both tortured women. True. Not saying I'm like totally redemption Lydia either, but yeah. Carol O'Bannon says, yes, she can't get a free pass. She still doesn't understand the irony of the situation. So, but this is what I'm wondering. So people who agree with me about that, how much does it affect your viewing of the show though? Like, because for me, it was hurting it. Like for me, it was hard to watch the Bourne thing with Serena because I'm like, I still hate her. So like, how are you guys still enjoying the show because of it though? Even maybe if you don't agree the direction, because I'm having difficulty with it. No, Serena was so evil to June. She needs to be punished, says Lynn. Okay, so Promethean Flame. She raped June and was part of human trafficking. If she wants to redeem herself, she needs to sacrifice herself to save other people. This is all she can do. No, exactly. And I agree. And it's annoying that like it's being sold to us like, okay, she's getting her redemption arc through having a child. You know, it's like, come on. Christine C. Thank you. $4.99. I appreciate that. Praise be. Katie Crowder. Hey, Katie. Always a great commenter. She didn't deserve another chance. I was hoping better ending for her not to go off into the sunset. Yes, I agree. Okay, Gigi. Lydia's type of torture, I would fast forward. It was gross. It was brutal. It's also crazy when you think about the Lydia and Janine relationship. It's like, man, this woman took her eye out. Okay, so another thing I want to talk about is with this season, who you guys think was, I'll put this question on the floor, was the MVP of this season. When I mean by MVP, I don't necessarily mean by like, oh, they did the right stuff for the show. Just like, who was the best character this season? Who would you say, okay, season 5 was their season? If we look back at Handmaid's Tale history, what would you guys say? Yvonne, says Cindy. So Serena. Janine, says Tiffany. Gigi, I could see that. Perhaps you want more Mouse Game Anthony no matter what, for sure. Mia, all of them. Come on. Exotic June. Lux says Luke. Monique says Janine. Serena. So look, that's a good sign that it's everyone's saying different things. So at least a lot of characters are speaking to people. MVP for me says June, and Luke says Shetara B. Okay. Luke, Lawrence, Luke, Lydia. Thank you, Katie, for the 5. I appreciate it. I'll try to keep it up. Luke only because of the finale. Yeah, Luke really had a great storyline this season. Lawrence. Yeah, Lawrence. It's funny. Lawrence is a character I've always been hard on, but like I admitted, this season, the writing for him was great with the one-liners. They're all funny. I thought, and I used to cringe at his humor. Now I was laughing all season at his humor. I thought whoever was writing those Lawrence one-liners was on point this season. Esther was great. Esther and Janine to me still are my MVPs most seasons, honestly. I think they're great characters. Okay, so I also want to point out about that barn episode that everyone loves that I don't like. I'm still not over that line, by the way. The what's the one that June says? Do you understand me? In the very Hallmark fashion. That's where I get mad. That's not this show. That's where I'm like, don't lose your identity. And it makes a lot of people happy. That kind of thing, that's great. But come on, not the people who are with me season 1 who love this type of show and the quality and seriousness of itself it takes. Don't give me that corny stuff. That was so forced and corny. I'm not going to support that line. It made me really mad. That was the lowest of lows for me for this show, for sure. Yes, thank you, Balanced Circle Sword. You understand me? It was so cringe. Oh my god. Let's see. I know KPD, it's their line, but still, I like that they used the line twice before that in believable ways. This was not believable to me. It was way too much, says Lethargic. Lethargic? Yes, for sure. Oh, okay. This is an interesting point. Ashley says Alexis Bledel was the MVP. I hate she left. And yeah, Emily was such a great character, and there really is no news about what the reason was of her leaving it. I wonder. I mean, they've kept it under wraps really good. I wonder what the hell went on there. I hope it's not. I hope she's okay. I hope nothing personal. It's tough, but there's still left the door open for her to come back. I mean, she could come back in the Testament. She could come back in the season 6. So we'll see. I mean, I don't question that. I mean, it happens all the time. I look at Walking Dead. There's actors who've left that they will eventually come back. So we'll see. Yeah, let's see. It was so forced. Indianet says, I wish you got an update on Esther before the season. I'd agree with that. That was strange. Oh, but someone sent me an article on Twitter. So I have to take back kind of what I said about the Esther stuff, because I think supposedly McKenna Grace, the actress, was actually was injured or was on a bed for real. So something happened there with the actress. I think she had an injury. So they had to kind of, I think, keep it to the bed scenes. Don't totally quote me, but you can look up that article. So there was a reason that they had only last shown her in the hospital bed. Okay, here you go. She was in the hospital for scoliosis, says Cindy. Ma'am. So if someone can confirm with an article, that'd be great. But I knew there was some reason. It wasn't just show. See, Anna's saying she left because of a dispute with her husband regarding filming schedules or something. Unfortunately, now they're getting a divorce. But again, I don't think any of this is like confirmed. There's a lot of speculation, but I don't think there's like there's never been like a real confirmed article with the exact reason she left. So I also, about this season, I really liked actually the beginning, and I liked how it was like still engaging me a lot. And then it flipped again with the barn stuff. But then I did like the end of the season. I thought the end of the season was pretty strong. I think it got me more invested in the show again. I'm also interested to see. Here's another question I have for everybody, because this has been on my mind. I keep forgetting to ask it in the reviews I do. But when they do the Testaments, right, and if the character of Hannah is in the Testaments show, it's going to be a big part. Are they going to recast her? because again, with histories of shows, they'll introduce small characters in the original stories and then recast them to a bigger actor or actress because it's a heavy duty. Hannah's gonna not have dialogue really heavy duty like the Till of the Testaments. They're gonna say that it's not gonna be season 6. So will they recast the actress? I'm not familiar with Hannah's actress that much, but I think they will for sure. I think they're gonna get a big name in there. I'm curious, A, if you guys think they will recast Hannah for the Testaments. B, who you think they would cast. Who would you cast as Hannah? Or if you think they should keep the same actress and let her have a shot at it. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on that because I was actually thinking about that for the Testaments. Let's see. Mandy Joe says, I hope not. She's perfect. We have watched her grow, so we will connect with her easier. That's true, but I don't think business decision wise they're going to care about that, unfortunately. They want to probably bring in people with a name. Let's see. Keep the same actress, says Exotic. I think they should keep her. See, Yanette says, I think Zendaya would be a great older Hannah. I do too. I would say that, but I think that's just unobtainable at this point. She's so big, Zendaya. But maybe, they got Disney behind them now. So if somehow they can get greater to a show, but it's a huge commitment. So I don't think it would be that level of a Zendaya. But I actually imagined Zendaya in my head when I read the Testaments as Hannah, believe it or not, which is really coming back. I read the Testaments a couple years ago. And if you want my quick review on the Testaments, I loved the Handmaid's Tale book. Loved it. I mean, it's an amazing book. If you haven't read it, read it. But the Testaments is good. It's not amazing. It's good, but it's not Margaret Atwood's level of good. It's good. She's good. She has a good story there, but it feels a little too much written for TV in my taste. But it's good. They won't recast as Gigi. Highly disagree. They're definitely gonna recast. They don't have Zendaya money, no. Keep the same actress. It'll be a few years before it airs, so I'll match up with timeline wise for sure. It will line up well, but okay, I like that one, Justine. Maybe they'll recast Hannah as Amandla Stenberg. I like Amandla Stenberg, and that would actually be really good. I hope they keep her, but otherwise, Zendaya. Oh my God, you just said that. Yeah, hard to get her, but she would be great. Zoe Kravitz, another one. Her name's so big now, like Zoe Kravitz. I mean, so yeah, I don't think they'd be able to get Zoe Kravitz either. They should keep Ann Dowd, of course. It's going to be Ann Dowd, 100%. No way is that changing. Let's see. Storm Reed's good. I like that because she's someone who's on the rise. So someone who's on the rise, name wise, they're probably going to pull in. Maybe they keep the actress. Who knows? But we also don't know what chops this actress has. That's the other thing they got to kind of find out. So that could be a huge risk. I mean, we've seen her in smaller scenes. She's a small character in The Handmaid's Tale. We haven't been able to see her carry something. So that could be a risk they're not willing to take. Also, let's see. Yara Shahidi. Why am I not familiar with that name? Someone tell me what she's from. Okay, someone says Zoe is not a good actress. I have people and friends who say that. I disagree, though. I like Zoe Kravitz. But I've heard that. You're not alone. Priya. Okay, depending on age, I would throw out Priya Ferguson. Hey, that's not bad. Priya actually interviewed Priya a month ago, and that's a little plug for myself. And she was so kind and nice. So yes, Priya Ferguson. Boom. We're going with that one. We're casting. Steve Varley's casting Priya Ferguson as Hannah for the Testament. So Bruce Miller, if you're hiding here, you heard it here. I want some credit. And Bruce Miller, you're going to cast me as a cameo in season 6 of The Handmaid's Tale. It's the final season. You're going to do it. What should they cameo me as, guys? What should I show up as? Should I be a driver? Maybe I'll come up as a driver. Even though I really want to be a pro girl or a plum. That'd be really funny. I would go anywhere. I'd do it. You can put me in any costume. I'd do it. But I won't be a commander. No. And I won't be an eye. No. But let's see. A driver. Yeah. Maybe I'll do a driver. Oh yeah. A plum, a Martha. That'd be a Martha would be funny. Someone report that private dating chat girls thing. Get that out of here. What the hell? How do I get rid of that? I don't want spam in this. Hide them. Jeez. By the way, just want to address that. And they were doing my Handmaid's Tale. Someone was posing as me on YouTube. and put my logo and was saying you won something at Telegram, and I got all these emails and messages like, did I win something? It's not me. Just make sure you click on the person before you hit any of their links, please. They're using my logo and they keep recreating new accounts. So if you see it, I really appreciate you report it too. Thank you. Yeah, Steve the driver I, because most drivers are I's. Not Event and I, who's with Mayday. Oh, I like that. Lawrence is driver. I'd do that. Would be funny. A Canadian hater. Okay, hold on a second. I want to bring that up. So that's a big thing. A lot of people are frustrated with this season, and I agree, is this vile Canadian thing that came out of like really left field. I mean, that's where you're fixing the writing to get to where it needs to be, right? Because they talk about it like it's this thing that's been happening, and it's not, and then it just got like absurd with it, and then they're getting out of Canada. But again, like I said in my finale review, I was happy it gets them out of Canada, you get out of that house, so I also want to hear your thoughts on that. Did anyone like they went that route with the vile Canadians or find it believable? Because I really didn't find it believable. Um, Thank you, Rachel. That's how you made it big, Stevie. You're the best, Rachel. Um, let's go see Wakanda Forever. I'm still waiting to see it with you. I saw it already once, so everybody, it was great. See the movie. So it was way too left field. I agree. Okay, what was up with Canada? That was random, totally random. It was too sudden. Let's see. Yeah, see, Katie says I understand why they went that way for the Testament setup, but it was definitely out of left field. Um, I couldn't believe it happening, but it needed way more setups as Venus. Tatiana says, I think anyone could become hateful under circumstances. I don't put anything past any people. No, I totally agree with that. I just think it was the quantity. It was the quantity. But again, comes with the show, the weird like world building it does. It's just not very believable or effective. That's another thing I want to bring up though, because I was actually pretty easy on this in my finale review. I saw a lot of people ripping into the scene in the finale with June getting hit by that car, because June just stood there and it was like, this is when my dog starts barking. This is Daisy, English Bulldog, by the way, barking. So this is where when I'm filming a review, I would normally edit this out. We're gonna have to go through it. She's got a lot of thoughts, my dog, on this finale. She was very upset about this scene. But the scene is that she gets hit by this car, right? And people are like, June has survived and been in so many near death situations. How the hell did she just not like jump to the side or just get away immediately when she saw his car? So I'm curious what your guys' thoughts on that scene were. I didn't like on my original watch kind of catch that, but I've noticed it angered a lot of people. So I'm wondering, do people were okay with that scene? Was it kind of silly? What do you guys think of that? Yes, Vicky. Hi, Daisy. Daisy says hi. Let's see. Yeah, that was frustrating, says he talks. Just Michaela says she could have ran to the grass so easily for sure. Hey, Subversively, you're the best, Subversively. Thank you for the $2. I hope you're doing well. Another great commenter, Subversively. She's been with me for so long. It's awesome. Let's see. Well, why was the police acting like Luke should not have defended her? Yeah, that was a lot. My dog is barking at your dog. That's great. I hated June was run over by a car. Hi. Hello, easier said with Meg. Maybe she wanted to die a little part of her. Okay. That's an interesting angle, Jessica. It seemed to me they were making it seem like a dream. That's what I thought it was too at first. Try was. Excuse me, I'm butchering some names here. Jared, Aunt Lady's Redemption is something I'm here and not here for. Let's see. She did try to run to the grass, but was kind of far. I think it was weird that she says Miss Sharon. Danielle Berry said I knee jerkingly laughed. Yeah, it's interesting. There was some interesting stuff. So, now I want to know. We'll put the debate here, because I know it's hard with season 5. Like, I did think the end was good. I thought the beginning was solid. As you know, I'm not a fan of the middle patch. Weakest Handmaid's Tale stories to me yet in that middle patch with the barn and everything, but I've already went over that. But I'm curious too now, like, most people are saying and agree with me that season 5 was the weakest season. Do you guys have an agreement on that, or do you guys think there was a weaker season than season 5? Do you guys think season 5 was the best season? Is there anyone who doesn't agree with that? That thinks, oh, this was better than most seasons. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Okay, Rain got us in like season 3. Yeah, season 3 is bottom tier for me too, but I did think season 3 was a little better than this season. Emily says, I like season 1 and 2, and that's it. Artea agrees. I feel like everyone forgot Serena is June's rapist. I didn't, and I think they're really trying to make us forget. Mia, season 5 was the weakest season by far. Disappointed. Murray says, yes, season 3 was rough. Tatiana, they were practically sucking up to Canada before it was paradise for refugees. 5 was definitely the weakest season. Yeah, it wasn't their best. It's hard to decide between 4 and 5. Her real review gives a ranking. They give 1, I guess, being the best, 2, 4, 3, 5. That's a really good ranking. And you know what? Her real review, I agree with that ranking. That is my ranking as well. 1, 2, 4, 3, 5. 1 through 4 at the hearts. I agree. Okay, so is there anyone so turned off by okay? So most people agree season 5 was the worst season. What are you so turned off you're not going to return, or are you going to return? And are you guys also, let's say season 6, like, are you guys on the cuff of leaving, or are you just with this no matter what happens? What are you guys' thoughts on the franchise in general? So, firstly, thank you for another 2. I really appreciate that. Okay. Lethargic says 3 was worse than 5 except for the final episode. So I guess we can come to a consensus that 3 and 5 are the least popular of the bunch. So, maybe it's a odd numbers thing besides season 1, of course. So season 6 should be good if we're going that route. I will return. I'm definitely good return. I'm obsessed. I'm invested too much to walk away now. We're staying. I'm into the end. Okay, but everyone who's invested is saying they're staying into the end. Does that include Testaments? Is there some people who are like, oh, I haven't made my choice on Testaments yet. Am I going to watch Testaments? Are you guys all in on Testaments as well? I should get paid by Hulu because this is like a survey I'm giving for the company. I need to see how it ends, but don't think I'll be watching the Testaments. I'm here for the franchise no matter what, only because I was find out what happens. Yes, in for the Testaments, def watching. I'm going to finish the series. We've come too far. I'm all in Testaments, says Mia. Tatiana says yes, Testaments too. Oh, wow. Rachel, no, passing on the Testaments. Damn, Rachel. Rachel, you're gonna watch the Testaments. You know you're gonna be watching and texting me about it. Let's see. I'm going to watch Testaments, says Jessica. Rain Goddess Testaments depends on Lydia's storyline in season 6. So yeah, it's interesting. I give a lot of faith in the Testaments because clearly the Lydia stuff's the setup for the Testaments, like that's in the show now, and it's good. So it gives me faith, and we're gonna have the strong writers for sure, probably on the Testaments. So I have a lot of faith in that. I think the beginning of the Testaments will be on par, probably like season 2 level of Handmaid's Tale. That's my prediction. And I am someone, like I said, I want them to cast really good actors in the really important parts in that show. It's like casting is so important. And I'm hoping they kind of knock that out of the park. So I'm going to see who they cast for that. Yeah, it's interesting. With the Handmaid's Tale, I think that I have another question for you guys because it's I want your guys' unbiased thoughts on this, but like, you know, I give props to Pairway because me and Pairway have been doing the reviews for Handmaid's Tale, mostly same schedule, same time, and we share a lot of the same audience. And I know Pairway kind of slowed down on them towards the middle of the season, and I still didn't notice uptick in my views. So like respectful competition, like we have friendly competition there. So like I'm curious, like, is it me? Is it the show? Like, cause like even last season, at this time, like my finale review was up to like 70,000 views, where like this season it's at 30,000 views. So I'm curious, like, is it YouTube algorithm? What is bringing the downtick? Is it the show's audience? Do you think the show's audience has gone down? Is it me? Be honest. Like, I'm curious what you guys think of that, and just in general, what you guys think of like trends like that with shows and how that happens, why that happens. I'm very curious what you guys think on that. So Mia says it's the show. Thank you. I appreciate that. We love you both. Thank you, Jessica. I think it's the show. I think it's the show's audience has gone down. I think it was the season. I think it's the show. It's slower on social media too. Okay, that's interesting. I miss you in your Handmaid's outfit. Thank you, Heather. I think it's a show. It seems like there's a lot less hype this season. When the show isn't as entertaining, we're less likely to come look. Interesting, Amy. I like that point. They're taking too long between seasons. A lot of people didn't know it was back on. Yes, lack of promotion for sure. The show I could hardly watch this season, Emily says. I think it's a show. I know people have given up on the show. Okay. People have given up the show. Interesting to hear that. Um, Thank you, Nisi Smith. I was disappointed that there was no Rita or Moira this season. Season 5 was not good, says Nisi. Thank you for the $5 tip and the good comment. Rain Goddess. Oh, thank you for the European $12. What does that translate to US? Someone give me the translation. Been following you since you don't give me the translation. I'm just kidding. Been following you since I randomly spotted a guy in a bonnet on my timeline a few years ago. You've come a long way. Thank you. And I'm never, ever leaving the franchise, by the way, people. I am going to be covering Testament. I'm going to be covering any spinoff they do. I'm loyal to Handmaid's Tale. I owe so much to it, too. And I try to just be honest and fair and professional as possible with them because I'm rooting for them. And I've met Bruce Miller in person. I've got to interview some of the cast, all nice people. So I want good things. Let's see. I love your commentary, even though I watch Pair Wait. Yeah, no, keep watching Pair Wait too. I'm just curious though, like when you have friendly competition, I'm saying is like when someone stops covering it, usually your numbers will go up with it. But I'm like, man, is this season having just such less viewers that like I couldn't really get a jump or kickstart on views. Let's see. Yeah, missing that magic edge of my seat for sure. Yeah, and I think that was the thing about like Handmaid's Tale. Even season 4 still had it, where like there was like this event to each episode, and like, oh my god, like you feel like you're going into this world that's going to entrance you, and like speculation wanting to come from it too. And I think that kind of died out this season, but that's something you can fix. And um, I'm also interested what you guys think about the direction it's going. So I want to know, do you think the show will be in Hawaii with Serena and June, or do you think we're going to have an opener in season 6 where like the train goes off the rails and they end up in Alaska or wherever, or Montana? Like where do you think this show is going to be setting wise? Besides where we know Lawrence is in New Bethlehem, because that's clearly going to be, I think the creators said they're going to take a lot of time in New Bethlehem. Will there be another setting? What's going to be like the Canada? Because I think they're leaving, done with Canada, right? So I'm wondering where we think that's going to be. Let's see. They aren't making it to Hawaii, says Balance. Okay. Oh God, I hope not. The trail does not get derailed. I think it might now. Now I'm thinking about it. No Hawaii. I can't see them ever making it to Hawaii. I hope it goes back to Gilead, says Thomas. Kayla says, laughing at the train. No way it's in Hawaii. In my opinion, so Hawaii jumping the shark. I could definitely see that. No Hawaii, that's for sure. Someone says, please be Hawaii. What was my favorite episode this season? Episode 9, the Bradley Whitford directed one. Definitely not Hawaii. I would love Hawaii. The White Lotus meets the Handmaid's Tale. That's funny. Colorado. That would be interesting. No way in Hawaii. I kind of hope they don't go to Hawaii. I feel like they would make for another boring setting like Canada, says Anna. The train will be hijacked by Tom Cruise, says Jessica M. I like that. It needs to go to New Bethlehem. Her review, it's definitely going to be half in New Bethlehem for sure, because that's where the main like Nick and Lawrence stuff's going to go down. So versus Surreal, thank you again, $10. You're the best. North Dakota, that would be very random, but I'm down. Okay, let's see. Now that's the direction we're kind of predicting. Now I'm gonna tell you guys something else. One of my dreams since watching the show is to interview Yvonne Strahovski. So I pray to God that the final season I'll get to talk to her before like her runs over on this show. I hope if she's out there that she can give me a shot to interview her, because like some actors actresses do a lot of interviews. Some only talk to the big dogs like Fallon, so I hope there's justice in this world that I'll get to interview her. That's like the dream thing for me and my whole Handmaid's Tale thing, because again, Serena's story's been so fascinating throughout this show. So that's like, I hope one day. So let's see. Where else? What do we want to bring up here? What's the topics for this season, this show? Praise be. Praise be is my filler when I can't think of anything to say. as you guys can notice. Yeah, thank you. It'd be incredible to see you interview her. My favorite thing I ever did for the show, though, so far was getting to interview Madeline Brewer. Please, if you can get a chance to watch that interview last season, she was awesome, and I hope you guys can watch it. That was a dream come true. Yeah, and I haven't been able to get Ann Dowd either. I've been close. I've had two like this close to Ann Dowd. That close just doesn't come through. Close. But there's going to be plenty of opportunities for Ann Dowd again because of testaments and stuff. So we'll see. Yeah. Oh, thank you. There he is. Dun, 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 dun. It's Bruce Miller. He says if he can help. I also want to interview Bruce Miller again, but I reach out to different things. I don't know who to reach out to, and I do, and I don't. And yeah, I gotta interview Bruce Miller again too. Thank you, Bruce. Bruce is in the building, showrunner, creator, and he's the man. He didn't answer my comment, Bruce, on my finale review. I asked if you're trying to go to Hawaii. He's not gonna answer that though, but that's okay. But he's in the chat. Say hello to Bruce. Ask him anything you want. And I know he'll get mad at me because I say it's my show, but Bruce, you're here. Aloha. There you go. There, I like that. So, okay, so here's the thing. Yeah, there you go, Rachel. Bruce Miller entered the chat. Who is Bruce? Bruce is the showrunner of The Handmaid's Tale. Faramir. Hi, Bruce. We love you and love your work. Anna says, can Rose actually divorce Nick and Gilead? That's a good question, Taylor. I don't know, but I think when people are saying that, I think they're jumping to that she's going to divorce him. She's like done with him, but like we don't know yet. What that could mean a million things. We got to see. Hi, Bruce. He said aloha. Yes. Can we talk about how things ended with Nick? Okay, balance circle swirl. That's a good topic to bring up. So I like how they ended things with Nick, like I said in my review, because it makes it so much more interesting that he's putting his neck on the line. Because Nick kind of always, gets away with like shriveling around and has an excuse for things. But I like this was like him stepping up. So I was very more like, okay, that brought me back to edge of my seat with Nick, like for season 6. I think Nick's storyline has potential to be great in season 6 and see this kind of like they're clearly angling like Nick is being more like doing the right thing compared to like a Lawrence who's kind of going down the start path. So I like that they're pinning these two now instead of because they've been teammates now for a while. So like to pin them against each other on the honor of June is going to be interesting. I like to see that. Love you, Bruce, says Rachel. Bruce, we need more Hannah Day in the life. I don't know what that means. Is that the real Bruce Miller? Yes, Lauren, that is him. Bruce says Nick's story is a story of failure. He wanted to move on from June and he couldn't. Love it. Yes, it's real Bruce. He watches Steve's channel. Yes, Anna, that is right. Unless I've been fooled this whole time and it's not Bruce Miller. It's the poser Bruce Miller. Thank God this isn't Twitter because it would be a Twitter blue Bruce Miller, maybe. We'll see. Yeah, where is she gonna go pregnant? What is Naomi gets pregnant, says Jessica. Anna Vidar Duo says, Bruce Miller, thank you creating the show. Enjoy the show and commentary like Steve's. And Bruce Miller says, if I'm not the real Bruce Miller, I work way too hard. That's right. Oh, okay. More scenes on how Hannah is living in Gilead. I think they just have to like tiptoe with Hannah because they got to save some of the stuff for future Testament stuff. Did you read the Testaments? Yes, Subverse. I had mentioned earlier in the review. I read the Testaments a couple years ago. When it first came out, I read it the first week even. But yeah, pretty good. I'm excited to see what they do with the show with it. So let's see what other topics we're going to talk about with the season 5. I am also curious what they're going to do with Esther. I'm also curious where they're going to like wrap characters and some characters being put into the Testaments. And I think with that kind of thing, you want to keep Testaments fresh and familiar enough, right? But more fresh. So I would prefer like less moving over, if anything, like 1 or 2, and definitely wrap June. You know, June, this is her show. Wrap it. She's too big of a presence to be overlooming. And it just doesn't work having her in the Testaments. It works maybe like it'd be fun. I'm a sucker for Easter eggs and stuff. Like it'd be cool to have mentions of June and her being maybe a presence somewhere far and maybe a cameo or something if she survives. But I don't even know if she's going to survive. I'm predicting not, but I'm curious who would be like the character, one or two characters. Besides, obviously, we know Aunt Lydia is a storyline here that's going to go on. But like besides that, who's going to be the ones that kind of shimmy over and continue on? I'm very curious about that and what you guys think. If you guys have predictions, or if you guys, are taking the Bruce Miller role. Let's say you're your couch showrunner right now. Who are you pulling over to the Testaments? Who could work going on as a storyline that keeps moving, that can kind of shift, but not take away from the new stories and new characters? I'm wondering what you guys think of that. Let's see. I have a theory that the story might focus more on Esther rather than Hannah. Interesting. Serena needs to go. Well, I another one. Serena's got to rap too, right? Like Serena to me, and you can't have. I just don't. I think it's too crowded to have a Serena and Aunt Lydia kind of thing going on in Testaments. I think Serena, we gotta like rap because and Serena's also like connected so much to June. So it's like I feel like that's Handmaid's Tale is Serena June's story. So I want to see that closed. I don't want to see that stretched, right? I can't picture June riding off in the sunset with her happy family and going into the Testaments. That's the thing. It's the tragedy of this world, right? And like having to set up conflict for Hannah. So I don't see how June could have a happy ending in Handmaid's Tale, but I could see her having a heroic ending and having something honorable. So I think is the best way, and I think they will for sure go. And it could be tragic, but I think it will be something that changes everything. Bruce Miller says, I don't think about story nearly as strategically as you guys do. And that's a good point. And that's also something that like I think a lot of showrunners would agree with, and how in this day and age, everyone's got an opinion. You got Reddit and you got this thing going on right now. There's so many thoughts and people have, and it's like running off of the great stuff that Bruce Miller has created with this show. So it's so interesting being in this day and age with a show. And I'm fascinated like that experience for a guy like Bruce Miller. It's pretty wild. I've stuck with the show before I committed, but it's frustrating that it's veered for some of its rules for the world they've been building, says Chanel. Esther can replace June, to be honest, says Seven. Well, Esther's so strong and McKenna Grace is such a good actor. She could definitely take a big part. So that's a good point. I'm also getting that vibe. Like Esther's someone who could definitely transfer over to Testaments, and also the age of the character. Let's see. You create something that good, Bruce, says Rachel. I agree. Rain Goddess. Way kinder here than Reddit. Yeah, Reddit's brutal. I mean, if I was, I got it. First off, I'm going to give props to Bruce Miller too, because this isn't me just like because he's here saying nice things. No, I mean this like it. I would not be able to watch reviews, go into chat, or go on Reddit in particular. I don't know if he does that, but Reddit, oh my God, anything Reddit. I mean, I don't know if you guys have this experience with Reddit, but like I could play a video game I think is really good or watch a show I really like. And if I just go on the Reddit for that game or show, it will make me hate what I'm watching or like playing. Like no matter what, there's always a negative spin. So yeah, it's tough where like I think sometimes I try to even protect for me things I like personally that I'm not reviewing, and like I don't purposely watch or read anything about it because I'm like, oh, it might make me hate it. Let's see what everyone's got questions for anything. It's already 2 June, says Subversively. June needs to stop assessing over Hannah, but that's tough. That's her daughter. Dawn666 says, thanks, Dawn, for me as a member. I'd rather not see Esther again. Interesting. I haven't heard anyone say that. Janine, they think, can cross over. I could see Janine, but I also can't see Janine crossing over. And I think maybe because we've had Janine as like this OG since the beginning, even though some of these other characters are, but like, I want a closure for Janine at the end of Handmaid's Tale. I don't want to see it continue in Testaments, to be honest. Even though she's my favorite character, I want that favorite character payoff in the final season. Let's see. I miss Emily so much. I do too. What can you do though? Emily was my favorite character. I missed her this season. Let me see. Oh, Bruce. I miss Emily so much as well, and Alexis. Oh, that's nice to hear, Bruce. I'm gonna think if I have a question for Bruce. I always have questions for Bruce. Um, Bruce, how this question when you write your own episode of the show, are you writing that with other writers at the same time, or is it kind of just you and then you show it to the other writers, or you just all you? How does that process kind of work? I love to hear that. I love to like know how your writing process is on a not as a showrunner, but a particular episode when it's your episode. If you can answer, that'd be awesome. Do you think Jean will ever learn what actually happened to her son? I think about that a lot. That's a good point. I wonder. I see that's like stories I forget about because they seem so far away. Janine should be coming on. I just don't think Janine would do that. Good question, Taylor. Where's Taylor's question? Do you think? Oh yeah, that's the one I read. Okay. Can't Bruce style in? You had a year to figure it out, Steve. Rain. I like that. I like that. You know what it is, Rain? If I had planned with Bruce to be here, which I probably should just do an interview with Bruce with like live with fans, like I could just do a Zoom where it goes live directly to YouTube. I know how to do that. It's not that I don't know how to do it. I just didn't know Bruce Miller was showing up again. You know what I mean? So you got to plan these things out. I wish YouTube had a thing though where I could just hit right here, like, yes, put someone on the call or whatever. If it was that easy, I would do it. Who died? Someone died in a car crash? Oh, the son. I think she's talking about of Janine. We could get Emily if she shows up as a resistance and Testaments. That could happen with Emily, but again, this depends on things outside of the show, right? Writing. We outline stories as a group, all the writers, Bruce Miller says. I try to write the draft on my own, but sometimes I don't have time. Interesting. Okay. And then Bruce, I wonder with the show, how do you plan out the casting process? Like, so how early do you cast? Like, are you already casting for season 6? And I'm not talking like big roles, just even people who have just an episode, like side characters. Like, what is that process like? Like, where does that even kind of begin for you? If you could answer. Um, yeah. What if they make a Janine Martha for Hannah? I could see that, but again, I think Janine's such a big presence and has had her time. Like, I just don't know if that would work in the Testament. Um, okay, as long as Janine can have kids, she will not become an aunt. Um, okay, here we go. Katie has a question for Bruce. Do you all ever get ideas from the audience? Great question. I can noodle casting ideas, but I can't generally cast until I have an actual script page of scenes for them to read. Oh, interesting, Bruce. Let me see what other questions I can have for Bruce here while he's here. Bruce. What am I going to ask Bruce? Bruce, what is a genre of a show you would dream of writing or movie that's not this genre? Like, what's something you always wanted to kind of dip your toes into? And that's just a random question, but I'm going for it. 702 Thomas, I don't think Hannah will want to leave. That's the thing a lot of people are theorizing. And I think that might be correct. I think that might be the surprise of this. And it has been set up. I mean, it has been set up that, Hannah doesn't even like recognize June, so there's stuff like that leading to that. So I think it's not going to go as smooth as maybe a Luke and June dream of with Hannah. Okay. I don't want to read that just Michaela question. Hannah only knows the Gilead Kool-Aid, right, Rachel, for sure. Do we think other countries would implement the Handmaid system? I remember Venezuela was mentioned. Yes. KPDA, I don't think June gets a happy ending with either of the men in her life, which makes me a little sad, but I don't think it'll pay off in the best way. But I think it'll pay off in the best way. I agree. Janine has got to be left alone. She's got to get out of there, but I really want her to have Charlotte. I want closure for her too. Yeah, for sure. They got it. And that's something, again, they've been setting up. And you have this kind of conflict with Mrs. Putnam. So we'll see. It's me interesting to see how that kind of wraps with Janine and Miss Putnam. Again, these are stories I think that have to be kind of closed season 6. Bruce Miller says, just Successful and compliant handmaids get to retire after their service. Nicole, thanks. I'm glad to be able to, says Bruce. Um, any questions you have for Bruce, guys, put in the chat. It's your chance now. Okay, what other questions? What other things about the show in general? So I want to know you guys' thoughts on Janine. So I was very frustrated, like I said in my finale review, of Janine not knowing what's going to happen with her. I wish we had some kind of closure just in that setup. What are you guys' thoughts on Janine? Where do you think it's going to go? Where do you guys think it will start with Janine next season? That's what I want to know. What is your thoughts? If you're predicting, betting, when we first see Janine in season 6, where is that going to be? What exactly is going to be happening? Thanks, Rachel. Yes, Steve, you have a cameo. Let's see. Jessica M says pregnant. You mean who pregnant? Bruce says I have ideas where Janine might start, but I'm not sharing. Interesting. I think Lydia will intervene, says K Fez. Mood. Janine being taken to the colonies. For some reason I don't feel like the colonies we're gonna ever see again. I feel like they kind of just dropped the colonies. Janine is sent to the colonies. I think they're taking her to New Bethlehem. Alejandra gives the hard-hitting question. Bruce, how will you handle so many situations and characters, only 10 episodes? Cindy, cameo for Bruce and Steve. Okay, that's a good question too. Bruce, have you had a cameo yet? Have we missed it? Has there been a sneaky Bruce Miller cameo in any of these seasons or shows? Has he done the M. Night Shyamalan or Alfred Hitchcock? He should if he hasn't. So Bruce Surreal asked a good question. Someone says, and she always does ask good questions. I don't know where it went. Where does the next generation of handmaids come from without attacking free societies? Says subversively. Bruce Miller says, Xena, in a way, actors on the show don't tend to suggest actual storylines. That is interesting. Rachel, woohoo, I'm better late than never. Hello, Rachel. Always great. Thank you for being a member, Rachel. Sabrina Toner, thanks for coming. You came through. I think Janine will be either executed or punished. Like maybe they'll cut out her tongue because of what she said to Naomi. Oh, God. I don't know if I could even watch that. I mean, again, Janine's already had her eye taken out. Bruce Miller says, Tara, absolutely, scheduling is a huge factor every season. Here's a question for Bruce Miller, because I have to ask every time I talk to a showrunner director, but are we losing the chance of commentaries? I know I want commentaries, meaning whether it's on the Blu-ray or DVD, if you guys are even still doing a Blu-ray for season 5, or has Hulu ever thought of like just more bonus stuff on the episodes, not just quick, this is how we thought of this thing, like actual full commentaries. I miss commentaries. I'd love to watch actors, directors, you talk about an episode with commentary. Is that a chance for a Blu-ray? Is there a chance for us to access that somewhere online? Is that an idea? Do people still, are you guys valuing that? Or is there conversations about bonus footage, bonus stuff of how this got made? Is that a thing still? Is it going out, Bruce, in your opinion? Is that fading? Do you see it's just in the industry as a whole? If you can answer somewhere around that loaded question, that'd be great. Yes, see now it says yes, more interviews and behind the scenes. We would love to put more commentary, etc. on Blu-ray. We do value it immensely. Okay, good. Because I've been disappointed. I'm not talking about the Handmaid's Tale. I'm talking about in general. I will go now, and I'm a nerd with this stuff, and I go to the library, right? And I'll check new movies, shows that come out on DVD and Blu-ray. And now so many of them are trying to like sell them and stuff, but there's no commentaries anymore. Like just less people doing it, and it's frustrating. So I mean, I'll say it because it's in the same family, but I give Disney Plus props because a lot of their stuff still comes with director commentary, which is like you can watch like Eternals, and then there's a director commentary version on the app. Like that's still supporting that stuff, which I like. So I'm hoping they do that on Hulu. Like I'd love for them to say like, okay, Handmaid's Tale premiere season 6 episode 1, and then another version with commentary by Bruce Miller and Elizabeth Moss. I would kill for that. Yeah, okay, cool. Blu-ray DVDs are dead. Yeah, it's not helping that when they come out with these Blu-rays, they're still trying to sell them, these companies, and there's no special features. Like they rush them, they come out so quick, and there's what am I getting out of it? So they used to be loaded. I mean, look at like especially like Lord of the Rings DVD, you'll see it, or even like watch like a Star Wars DVD from like episode 2, Attack of the Clones. There's like hundreds of hours of bonus footage. Um, Okay, Kat says, Bruce, is Luke written out? I feel like the rest thing means we won't see him. Won't be a big loss. I feel Nick is more supportive if June gets here. Her real, I'm sorry, says Bruce. I don't know what he's talking about. Um, let's see. Is there a president? Someone asked for Gilead. Oh, okay. Bruce, is Margaret Atwood still involved in the making of and storylines of the show? It's a good question, Natalie. Y'all have a good Sunday. I see what this is. What does that mean? Where are you going? What is this? What? Okay, I'm gonna. I don't know. That question is very. That's a weird response. Um. Okay. Anyway, let's go back to discussions now. So we've given our thoughts on ranking this season, and we've given our thoughts on our favorite MVPs of the season. Now, let's have that debate. We didn't yet. What was everyone's favorite episode of the season and why? What was the episode that stood out to you the most? I've already said mine, episode 9. What do you guys like the best of this season? Let me know in the chat, and I'll read your favorite episode and why. Bruce Miller says, subversively for me, I just don't want to fuck it up. I love the honesty. Let's see. 9 and 10 says Sabrina. Episode 10. A lot of people love the finale. Jared says episode 8. Let me know also why, guys. Why episodes? Sinise says 9. So it looks like the second half was very popular, like the end, final act. That's good, Dawn. Yeah, I liked hearing June's thoughts like they used to, for sure. Okay. KPDA. Oh, the funeral episode by far was my favorite. I think that was episode 2, the ballet. 9 for sure. Nick actually said his thoughts. Agreed. 3 and 10, says Mandy Joe. 9 was weak. Ooh, Lydia doesn't like 9. 9 and 10. Episode 10 was really good. Yeah, a lot of love for those final 2. And yeah, episode 2 was really good. Ballet. That was very well crafted. And I still want to know why that person left. What was I doing? I see what this all is. Can someone who's the investigator on that? The one you like the best, I hated laugh out loud, says Balance Circle. So what was your favorite, Balance? Episode 9, Lawrence Dawkins' Naomi is hilarious. Although Naomi's Naomi's a tough read too, but I don't trust Naomi for a second. You want to talk about someone who's brutal. She was brutal with Janine there. Let's see. Episode 9, really? That was my least favorite. Episode 10 was epic. I love the shot of Nick waiting over the bridge. Yeah, people are weird sometimes. Thanks, Rachel. I enjoyed the whole season, but 9 and 10 were awesome. Don't stress, you're doing awesome. Thank you. Yeah, Yvonne commentary would be great too. Probably Mr. Com or something. Yeah. Don't take the troll seriously. Thank you. The 9th episode. Look, I didn't respond to our initial comment. Okay. Yeah. Guys, I'm doing my best here. I'm trying to read. There's so many comments. This is with slow mode, by the way. So if again, someone was asking why I had slow mode on. I can't read all these. Rachel, Hannah was born out of wedlock because Luke and June weren't married according to Gilead. That makes Luke and June unfit as parents. I think I can actually. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, it looks like a lot of people are in that boat, and I think a lot of my fans. I will say though, if you look at, I'm a big believer in looking at IMDb audience scores. I really like that. I think it's very accurate. And a lot of shows I watch, if you look at IMDb ratings for each episode, they're pretty on point. Like, and I am surprised though, like the finale's high, which I did really like the finale, so I'm not surprised about that. But I'm surprised those 2 middle episodes, the barn episode and the one before after, I can't remember fully, but they're very high. They're like 8.9 still. And even on Reddit, I know my fans aren't saying it. And they probably, because they have a lot of similar tastes, that's why they're probably a fan of mine and didn't like it like me. But it's very popular, that barn episode on Reddit. I think most people voted that episode. So interesting. Yeah, Lynn, but the actress ever is life. Okay, so here's my question. Let's talk about with this season, where I think another issue I had with this season was I think Handmaid's Tale is really good at introducing new, interesting characters. I don't know if there was one for me this season. And I thought I was expecting it to be the Wheelers, but I wasn't that enthralled by them. And it's no diss to the actor or actress, but I don't know. I it wasn't memorable. I think it was like, and I wonder how much more they'll even do with the Wheelers. I'm curious what you guys thought of the Wheelers. And then we got a little taste of Mr. Ozark. Great casting by the Handmaid's Tale team. I know Bruce here, but I'm very excited to see what happens with that Commander Mackenzie. If that's the right one, Mackenzie Ozark. I just say Ozark. I'm excited to see what Ozark does next season. But he didn't get much screen time this season. He's clearly like just introduced. But I'm curious what you guys thought, because like really the main new characters that got a lot of screen time were the Wheelers, especially Mrs. Wheeler. So I'm curious what you guys thought of that duo. Did you enjoy it? Because I feel like there was something missing of that. Of like, okay, we got some really interesting new characters. The Wheelers are meh. I love the Wheelers' house. Glad Serena got out and tasted what June experiences. KPDA. Lauren Targaryen says aggressive but slightly boring in one note, but great actors. I agree with that. They should have done more with Mr. Ozark. I think they're just saving that for final season. I think he's going to be awesome. Mr. Ozark is awesome. If you haven't watched that show, watch the show. I'm done with the Wheelers. They're creepy and they don't listen to the Commanders. I like the Miss Wheeler character so vile, not feeling the Commander as much. Commander Mackenzie's on a Nick for sure. Not only that, he's going to be on a Lawrence too after that one scene, I feel like. Which characters will die next season as its final season? Good question, Jared. My prediction still, I think, is June. Yeah, I don't trust Commander Mackenzie. I expected more from the Wheeler system. I hate the Wheelers. They're annoying, says Natalie Taylor. Jessica says she'd like to see more women of color. Lawrence isn't having... Okay. This is going quick. I like the resistant character that connects with Moira. See, I even forgot about her there. I mean, I just feel like we didn't get to know much about her, so I don't really have an opinion on that. Like, oh, you know who I like though? And I actually liked that episode. And I think I was in a minority there. I really liked, didn't love, but I really liked the episode with the bowling alley and the eye that was like grew up there. And he's still alive. A lot of people think he died. He survived that. So I really like that actor and I like that character. I was very interested in that. That felt like old Handmaid's Tale to me. I'm also curious, do you guys have a favorite director of the show? Any of them? In any episode, any season, is there someone you're like, ooh, you get excited when you see the directing? I'm curious what you guys think on that, because I know you guys have good taste with that. But I'm just stuck with, I'm so impressed how good director Bradley Whitford was. Very impressed. So I want, please give him, Bruce, an episode in season 6. It was so hard to find a bowling alley location in Sweden because it's bowling league season in Canada. They are serious. Oh, that's crazy. I love that. Yeah, Bradley Whitford was so great. Elizabeth Moss, people like his director, says Nisi. Bradley, I miss Fred too. Actor Fred, man, so good. Lawrence is director for sure. I would love to see more Bradley. Justin Michaela says definitely not Lizzie. Bradley Whitford, please, says Christine. Elizabeth is not a good director, lover, but says 702 Thomas. Bradley Whitford directing, love. I like this too. Jared says Elizabeth Moss, love the hard type feel she brings. I do too. But she just got to ease up on the close-ups. I'm not just saying, I know everyone loves to say the June close-ups. I'm just talking about close-ups in general. Obsesses over them. Let's see. Eva and Lizzie. Yeah, I want more of the bowling alley guy, says Tim. Yeah, me too. We talked about the Rose even divorce Nick thing. I still don't know if that's actually going to happen, a divorce. So Rose's character is interesting. I agree. Yeah, that's a good point. Jessica M. Yes, I loved Bradley's episode, says Justine. Okay, yeah, Rachel, that's a good question. Did y'all talk about the genetic comment with Rose and the baby? Also, I thought she was cool with June at first. Yeah, what was that genetic comment? Oh, I like that, Bruce. Don't blame the director for the close-ups. That is more my choice in the editing. Interesting. Um, the close-ups are overwhelming sometimes. I don't think Gilead does divorce. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, oh my god, yeah, there's just so many comments. No, this has been really fun though, and I'm excited, and I like to see that you guys are very passionate about the show and are vocal about it. And I think there's like good debate, healthy debate happening, and I'm happy that you guys are professional about it. I mean, no one here has really been a troll, which is good, and everyone's being respectful of each other, which is good. So yeah, I'm coming towards the end here with this because I am getting ready now for some football. And I got to save my voice, but I've had a fun time here. So what I'm asking is any questions you have for me or any questions you have for Bruce before I go, I'm going to try to answer. You can kind of do like a speed run of anything. And also before we go to, I just want to mention, like, please, it means so much if you can subscribe. That's just going to keep it that simple. Like that subscribe button helps me in so many ways with getting interviews, getting screeners. That's why I say that. So it only helps me just get more and be able to do more for you guys. So I really would appreciate it if you can hit that subscribe button or share the channel, whatever. It helps in so many ways. Every little thing is huge, huge. So let me know what you guys have, any questions for me or Bruce, anything, quickly fire around. And I appreciate all you guys this season. I'm obviously be doing season 6. Can't wait for that. And let me know what shows you guys want me to cover next. Anything, movies you're excited for, anything at all. Okay. Bruce, how much are you considering what the fans want? Has GOT Season 8 changed the TV game? That's a great question. Steve, what else are you planning on reviewing? I miss you after Handmaid's Tale Sabrina. I am reviewing every single episode and doing every single costume. I'm doing 8 costumes for Wednesday Netflix. So please try to watch that as a companion piece with me. I'm putting 150% into that show. So that's going to be my next big reviews. That's coming out on Thanksgiving. Thank you, Taylor. Steve, no question for me, but I wanted to know how much I love your reviews and commentary. Speed your reviews after each episode. I don't miss them. Thank you, Taylor. Please try to watch some of my new shows. Please review Wakanda and Avatar. I'm giving Wakanda 9.3. There's your quick review. It was amazing. And I'll try to review Avatar. Thanks, Bruce Miller, for such a compelling show. Thank you, Bruce. Thanks, Bruce. Steve, thank you as always. Thanks, Bruce. Thank you. This community has been so fun to engage with while I watch the show. I like reviews just much so sometimes. Blah, blah, blah. I know I'm mumbling and reading really fast. I'm trying to get these in. Cindy, thank you for the $20. Appreciate you. Bruce, is Margaret Howard still involved? Please do a full interview with Steve. Bruce, I will. Do you think maybe Mark had June run over so you can get? I will interview Bruce when he's in Hawaii. That's when I want to talk to the man, when he's on the beach. I don't think much about what I want or what the fans want to say. I try to think more about what the characters want. Bruce, I love it, Bruce. Sabrina, thank you for the 5. Thanks so much, Bruce. How soon will the Testaments come out? I'm assuming 2024. Any other questions for Bruce, guys? Bowling Alley guy, yeah, he was great. We don't need to wait a year. I love your channel. See you next season. See you next season. Bruce 100. Thanks, Stephen Bruce. Thank you. 702 was a combo, says Bruce. Bruce, who was your favorite character to write this season? Or whose character journey are you most invested in? I think you said last year, June. Is it still June? It was a great season. Thanks, Bruce. Why am I emotional right now, Taylor? That's great. I'm emotional too. Thank you, Bruce. YouTube does have a new thing where you can send a link to another creator when you're streaming. Okay, awesome. I gotta learn it. Thank you, Bruce. Love this channel. Love this. Thanks, Christine. It's a Handmaid's Tale. It's always about June. There it is, says Bruce. Serena and June have some friends. Okay, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. You can watch this on replay. I'll have the chat up if you missed anything. Thank you, Bruce, for coming again. It means so much. You are the man. And thanks for always being kind and respectful and professional. And know everything in all my reviews. I try to be respectful and honest as possible. And I'm not a sellout anybody. So if that woman who left earlier, I'm not selling my soul. Goodbye. Thank you. Praise be. Everyone have a great day.